Okay guys, this is our second set of notes for today. We're going to talk about writing and graphing inequalities, which I'm sure you've seen before, but we're just going to go over in a little bit more detail of how you write them from a sentence and how we graph them. So let's go over first what the signs of the inequalities are, because an inequality is an equation but with inequality signs, and it's important that you know the difference of which is which. So this is going to be the greater than signs. This means greater than. You always read it from left to right. So this number is greater than that number. Okay? This is greater than or equal to. So this is greater than or equal to. You should be writing this down. This is less than. So again, you read it from left to right. Okay? So if it was like 2 and 6, 2 is less than 6 is what that's saying. Okay? And this one is less than or equal to. So copy this, less than or equal to. Okay? You can pause now if you need to. Alright. So now we're going to write the word sentence as an inequality. So we're going to take a word sentence like we did for equations and write it as an inequality. Okay? So the number n is greater than 1. Go ahead and copy this down and pause if you need to copy it down. Also copy down the instructions. So pause so that they can do that. Alright, so number n, so that's what we start with. Remember, when we read it from left to right, that's how we're going to do it, is greater than, so greater than 1. And that's our answer. And we write it as an inequality. N is greater than 1. Alright. Copy this down if you need to. Or actually not if you need to. Copy it down. You need to. Take a pause if you need to is what I meant to say. Alright, next one. A number x divided by, so that's the divided by sign, 2 is at least negative 6. Okay? So that means that this, and this is tricky, you got to make sure you understand what it's saying, is at least negative 6. So it is negative 6 or bigger than negative 6. Okay? So that means it's greater than or equal to negative 6. Alright, you can pause if you need to. This is your answer for that one. Alright, next one. We're going to check to see if these are solutions. This is just like what you did for equations, except now you're putting it in an inequality instead of an equation. So you have to read it as the inequality and see if it's true. Okay? So you have to be able to read inequalities, which is important. So we're going to plug in, anywhere we see a b, we're going to plug in a 3. So I'm going to say 3 plus 4 is less than 6. So now I'm going to actually do the math. 7 is less than 6. When you read that across, 7 is less than 6. Is that true? No. Not true. 7 is not less than 6. So no, that is not a solution. Okay? Now we're going to do this one. 7y is less than 27. So we're going to do 7, and where we see a y, we're going to plug in a 4, is less than 27. Now I'm going to do the math. 7 times 4 is 28. It says 28 is less than 27. Is that true? Nope, not true. So this is not a solution either. Alright, pause if you need to. Next one. Z divided by 3 is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so I'm going to put it in. I'm going to say Z is 15, so that's why I replaced the Z with 15. Divided by 3 is greater than or equal to 5. So now 15 divided by 3 is 5. Is 5 greater than or equal to 5? Yeah, it is. 5 equals 5, so this is a solution. Okay, because this is the greater than or equal to. It can be either one. You can pause if you need to. All right, so now we've got to put some inequalities on a number line. Oop, that one got erased a little bit. Okay, so on a number line, we've done number lines before. Now it's just an inequality. So a number line for an inequality has some very specific rules. It's not a difficult thing to do. It just has some rules about how you do it. So the first thing is you got to draw a number line, which means we've got to have an arrow on either side. Oh, and please copy this down, all of it. So if you need to pause to copy it down, go ahead. All right, so we've got our number line. I'm going to put 0 in the middle. Okay. I am going to make 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 4 goes here. 3, 2, 1. All right, so when we're graphing things on the number line, the way I want you to think about this is if it doesn't have the line underneath, it's going to be an open circle, which means that we're going to put an open circle here. It's really important that you have the difference. Okay, open circle here. Okay, now this will tell you which way your arrow is going to go to graph it. So we've got an open circle on 4 because it's just a less than sign. It's not equal to. Okay, so this says our arrow is going to go this way. It points to which way you're going. And you draw make sure your line is colored in all the way from the open circle all the way to the arrow. Make sure you color in the arrow too, so I know which way you graphed it. Okay? You can pause if you need to. Alright, our next one is n is greater than -3. So what we're doing here is we're going to put 0 in the middle. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, -3, -2, -1. Okay, it is an open circle because there's no line underneath, so it's open. And we're going to color in all the numbers that are greater than -3. So we're going to take this, color in this line, color in this arrow. That means all the numbers infinitely, so forever, that are bigger than 3 are going to be colored on this line. So that's why we color in the arrow to say it goes on forever and ever and ever. Everything that's bigger than -3 goes to the right. Okay? You can pause if you need to. Alright, we're going to say that this one is P is greater than or equal to 7. Okay? So, I'm going to draw my number line, and this is where it gets a little different. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it is greater than or equal to. So instead of an open circle, it's going to be a closed circle because it includes 7. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say it's a closed circle because it's equals to. Okay? And this is all the numbers that are greater than 7. So, like I said, again, this kind of shows you which way your arrow goes. Whichever way the arrowhead is pointing is going to be your arrow. So all the numbers that are bigger than 7 and the arrowhead get colored in so that you know this goes on forever for all the numbers that are bigger than 7. You can pause if you need to. That is graphing inequalities on a number line. Okay? This I just want you to think about. So what is a real life situation that can be represented by the inequality x is less than 20? So what could be a real life situation? So talk in your groups and then maybe share out loud after a few minutes what you think. You can pause now so that they can talk. And then you can talk as a class. Well, some ones I think about are, I know in my wallet right now I have less than $20. I don't know how much is in there, but I know it's less than 20 bucks. So that could be a real life situation where I'd say it's less than 20. Or I could say, I know I invited 20 people. So if I wanted to change this, it's going to say, alright, I invited 20 people to a party. I'm either going to have all 20 show up, it's going to be equal to 20 that show up, or it's going to be less than 20. It's not going to be more than 20 because I didn't invite more than 20. Alright? So, right now, what I need you to do is I need you to do page 170 in your Rap J. Okay? This is homework if you don't finish it in class, so please make sure you get this done. You're going to grade it and turn it in tomorrow. And then if you do get that done and you're ahead of the game, then you can work on your map practice packet until then. So you got plenty to do. Make sure you're working. I don't want to hear that you weren't.